Trent is a bit famous around the Chartist. He's been on all our social media and he's got a great story. If you're a member of the Chartist, you can go back into the community and there's an interview with Trent from our previous Noosa Palooza where he kind of got all his backstory. But just very briefly, Trent had an accident of playing football on his 21st birthday. He'd just qualified as an electrician, so he could no longer do that career. So he was looking for an alternative, and a friend of his recommended talking to Nick. Got in touch with Nick actually and said, would Nick be interested in mentoring Trent in stock market and trading? And I have to say, obviously Nick said yes, and it's been... just remember to turn your phones off. It's been a fantastic relationship for both Trent and Nick, and I think when you're mentoring someone, I think the mentor gets as much out of the relationship as the student does. And in Nick's case, I think he sees a lot of himself in Trent. Trent is very keen to learn. He works really hard. And he's really interested, and so that's really the ideal person to mentor. So well done, Trent.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to ask a few questions. So since 2015, when we met you for the first time face to face, what have you been doing?
Yeah, well, since then, I've been up to a little bit. So at the time, and I currently am still living at home with mum and dad after my accident. I had to move back home with them. But since then, because we live south of Adelaide in South Australia in a relatively small country town on the coast, and mum and dad are a little bit out of that town, so it's a little bit hard to get around by myself because I can't drive at the moment. So I bought a block of land in town, and I've almost finished building a house, which would be good. It'll give me a bit more independence and just make things a little bit easier without having to drive around.
Great. So you'll be in town?
Yeah, yep. So it's right in the middle of town and close to everything where I need to go to my work and things like that. So yeah, as you mentioned previously, I was working as an electrician just for the local company. So I work back there now 1 or 2 days a week, just depending on what they've got on. And then so hopefully once I'm in town, I'll be able to increase that workload just because it's easier for me to be able to get to work and without having to drive to get there pretty much.
Yeah, and someone else drive you, so
yeah.
it'll give you a lot more independence. That's yep. Great. So thinking back to 2015, what were you trading back then, or were you trading, or how would you rate your ability?
Yeah, I was still obviously pretty new to it all because I think I got in contact with Nick probably in 2014. And he sent me a lot of the material because it was the Chartist website was a little bit different then. They didn't have the community with all the trading system courses on there. So he sent me a lot of those courses. So I went over all of them, and I was trading discretionary, mainly on the US markets, just because I had a smaller account then, and it was cheaper with the brokerage and things like that. So it was just discretionary trading. A few of my own setups, but mainly with the US power setups, just to learn from Nick and Craig, while also testing a few of my own ideas.
Great. Now, Trent, when we first decided to do the Trading System Mentor course, Trent was a beta student, so he was our test dummy and gave great feedback as well during the course. So now that what was your first impression when Nick asked if you would like to do the course? Because remember, this is a beginner trader going into a fairly in-depth course, very in-depth, learning coding, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, Nick asked me during the last Noosa Palooza. So as I mentioned, I hadn't I was just doing discretionary trading. I didn't really know anything about coding. I think Nick might have sent me a few systems just because we spoke about that I was a bit interested in it. So I'd seen kind of the code in AmiBroker. So when he asked me, I was a little bit intimidated just because I didn't understand any of it at the time. But yeah, I was also happy to, I thought I might as well have a go at it. Not going to lose anything because I was keen to learn about it. So yeah, from there I just started not long after Noosapalooza and it went well from there.
Great. And so what did you think you would learn before you went in? Or what were you hoping?
So I knew about the coding side of it. So I thought the course would be, mainly learning the coding, which is probably, it's obviously a big part of the course. So you learn that to start off with, but then also I didn't realise as much that the course would be on, developing a system and how to do that properly without curve fitting, with the other issues that can come with developing systems, which I definitely wouldn't have the knowledge now. But it's kind of things that I think you could easily gloss over for beginner traders. So yeah, you'd learn how to do it properly, which is obviously very important.
Yeah. So having completed the course, can you give others an insight into what was difficult about it, what you really enjoyed about it?
Yeah, speaking with a few of the guys that have done it around here, everyone's kind of, they might find things easier than others. I found the coding side of it not too bad, which was probably mainly due to the fact that I had a lot of time on my hands too. So I wasn't working full time and I could spend a decent amount of time on it. So I found that part not too bad, but where others have maybe struggled in that area. And then also just generating ideas and just getting your head around all the basic concepts to start off with, and then once you start testing your own systems, you can really delve into what you need to improve on and areas like that.
So do you have a strategy now that you're trading that
Yep.
you've designed?
Yeah, so I probably started the course I think in maybe November of 2015. I think during the course I designed my own mean reversion system, kind of similar along the lines of what Nick was talking about yesterday, and I started trading that in April. So I traded that all through last year, and now I recently, in January, I had designed another one that I started trading too, just for a little bit of diversification.
Right.
Yeah.
How are they going?
Yeah, they're going well. Haven't lost any
It's
money.
very laid
I haven't
back,
lost
isn't
any
it?
money, which is
Going well.
haven't lost any money, which is good. So, and even though the Aussie market's been a little bit tough this year, I think that's the good thing with the mentors too. They tell you it's more about following your system. Once you have the understanding that over the long term, the system should be profitable. So yeah, I've just been pretty much just focusing on sticking with the system during times when you might question if you should or not. Yeah.
And so are you working on any other strategies at the moment?
Yeah, I've been testing a lot of different ideas on the forum. People have been, talking about how they trade and different systems that they've been doing. So, and just reading lots of stuff on the internet, that now you've got the knowledge, I guess, to be able to test those different ideas. So even though I probably don't, there's only so much capital available that you can trade with, but it's still good to be able to test different ideas and have, just different systems on your computer that you might be able to look back into years down the track or whatever.
How long do you think it took you to do the course, start to finish?
Yeah.
I know you're still in the community. So it's a 6-month mentoring course, but there's also access to a forum where they all share ideas, ask questions, that kind of thing. So they stay in that community after.
Yeah, like I said earlier, because I had so much time on my hands, I was almost doing it full time, like 6-8 hours a day. So I probably completed the learnings within a couple of months. And then it was more about developing my system and testing my ideas. Originally I went down one path, but then with discussions with Nick, we thought it might be better if I went down the mean reversion way. So, but that was another good thing about having the mentor, be able to point you in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nick's not the only mentor. Craig Fisher. Craig does our growth portfolio and US momentum strategies. So he's actually at work. But he's around. He's popping in and out. So he mentors in the coding side, whereas Nick...
He's hiding out.
Oh, is he up the back? Oh, hi. There's Craig up the back there. And Nick is the... Craig is definitely the coding expert, and Nick is more the strategy design, and
yeah,
and they actually work very well together. So anyone considering the course, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I'd say that you have to be prepared to put in the work. It's not something that, you sign up for a course and then you get given a system to trade. You have to do the work, and then I think once you've done that work, then you can really get the benefits of being able to test different ideas or investigate maybe systems that you've been trading discretionary that you might want to automate a little bit more. So yeah, you have to do the work. You have to, and also on the forum, I think it helps if you're prepared to, not share your ideas and just talk about where you've been struggling and stuff like that. Because there's some good people on there that have, they thrash out ideas and throw different things out there, which has been good.
They're very clever, aren't they? Yeah. So where to now? Do you have any goals with your trading?
Probably just keep, plugging away at the moment. Yep. I don't want to chop and change things too much, but just keep following the system and hopefully be able to implement further systems down the track in different markets or different time frames. That's what I'm working towards at the moment.
Excellent. Thanks, Trent. That's fantastic.
Right.
I just have to say, if we look back at the last video from 2015 to now, the confidence you have at talking about trading is quite amazing, because there was a great story in the last video when you said, why did you even get into the market? It was because a friend told you he owned shares in Coca-Cola. And
yes.
he owned Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
that's right. And you thought he meant he owned the whole company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So excellent. Well done.
All right, thank you.